Hello and welcome in this video of latitude and longitude. In this video we are going to understand about the main features of the latitude and the longitude. So this video can be divided into 2 or 3 parts, so make sure that you are watching all the videos to have a detailed understanding about the latitude and the longitude. So let's begin our discussion about latitude and the longitude. So the latitude and the longitude are imaginary lines on the globe. Actually, the globe is a 3D model to represent our Earth. You can also see the globe on the chart also, and the chart is very portable to carry, and the 3D model of the globe is very difficult to carry. So these are the two differences. The map is a 2D dimensional to represent our Earth, and the globe is a 3D dimensional to represent our Earth. So the latitude and the longitude are the imaginary lines to represent the location, on the globe. So the latitude is the east-west lines on the globe. The main function of the latitude is to represent the heat zone. The chief function of the latitude is to represent the heat zone, is to mark the heat zone. As everybody knows that our Earth is divided into the torrid zone, the temperate zone, and the frigid zone. So the latitude is mainly used to mark the zones on our Earth. So it is a east-west lines. The total number of the latitude is 180. So there are total 180 degrees of the latitude. The largest latitude is called the equator, and the distance between each degree of the latitude is about 110 kilometers. Now let's see about this picture. In this picture you can see the latitude and the longitude. The equator is called the largest latitude. So the largest latitude on our globe or Earth is called the equator. So equator is called the largest latitude on our globe. So at the south of the equator there are 90 latitudes, and at the north of the equator there are 90 latitudes. So 90 latitudes are located at the north of the equator as well as at the south of the equator. So this is the North Pole and this is called the South Pole. And the north-south lines are called the longitude. The total number of the longitude is 360. So on the one side, the total number of the latitude is 180. The total number of the latitude is 180. The total number of the longitude is 360. So the equator is called the largest latitude. Now, as I have recently said that the equator is used to mark the heat zones on our globe. If we talk about this, we get the largest heat on the equator, and that is why the equator is called, equator divides our globe into two equal halves. So the largest heat is perceived on the equator, and that is why the people in the Africa is equally divided by the equator, and the people of Africa are black in color because they receive the maximum number of heat. So now if we try to understand this zone, if we try to divide our globe on the basis of the zone, this total area is called the torrid zone, because this area receives the maximum number of heat. This area is called the torrid zone because it receives the maximum number of heat from the sun. At the same time, the rainfall also happens in this area after the 12 o'clock in the noon time, every day the rainfall happens because the temperature increases so much that the rainfall happens in this area. At the same time, the humidity is also very high because of the evaporation of the water in this area. So this area receives the highest number of rainfall as well as the highest humidity, and it is called the equator. So apart from the torrid zone, these two are called the temperate zone. It means the north of the Tropic of Cancer and the south of the Arctic Circle is called the area of the temperate zone. So this area receives the approximately the equal amount of heat and equal amount of the cold. So it is called the temperate zone. Again, the south of the Tropic of Capricorn and the north of the Antarctic Circle, so this area is also called the temperate zone because it receives neither too much heat nor too much cold. It receives neither too much cold nor too much heat. So there is equal amount of heat and the cold we get in this area. So this area is called the temperate zone, these two areas. Now the frigid zone. The frigid zone is called at the North Pole, at the North Pole and at the South Pole. It means Antarctic Circle. The south of the Antarctic Circle is called the frigid zone, and the north of the Arctic Circle is called the frigid zone. So this area is also called the frigid zone. So in this area and this area, the light of the sun is always in the tilted manner. So this area do not get the direct sunlight, and that is how this area remains under the frigid zone. In this area, the ice is always in the frigid form. The ice is always in the frigid form. If the ice of these two areas are melted, the whole earth will be covered with the water, and it will be impossible for human being to reside. The whole earth will be covered with the water, and that is how, because of the global warming, the ice and glaciers of this area is melting, and it is a cause of concern for the whole world. The whole world is thinking to root out and to eradicate the global warming, but it is our humanity has not solved the problem of global warming so far. I hope it is clear for everyone. So let's move. Now, the recently which I have said, the torrid zone, the temperate zone and the frigid zone. So these are the explanations. These are the explanations of the three type of zones. So recently we have studied that on the basis of the latitude, we have divided our globe into torrid, temperate and the frigid zone. So you can write down also, it will make an excellent note. Now, angles of the sun. As I have already discussed, that the low angle and that because of the tilted angle, the North Pole receives the minimum number of sun rays, and that is why the whole water is in the frigid, and the same amount of sunlight the South Pole also receives, and that is why the whole area of North Pole and the South Pole is in frigid. The ice is always covered by the North Pole and the South Pole. Always there is ice. So I hope it is clear for everyone. Now the Amazon, now the now again this area is called the temperate zone. These two areas, it is called the Tropic of Capricorn. This line is called the Tropic of Capricorn, and this line is called the Tropic of Cancer. And here there is torrid zone, as we have recently studied, and here there is temperate zone. These two areas are called the temperate zone. So I hope it is clear for everyone. Now if we talk about India, this line is called the Tropic of Cancer. The Tropic of Cancer crosses and divides India into two halves. This Tropic of Cancer. So there are total 8 states which are crossed by the Tropic of Cancer. So which are these 8 states? So these 8 states are Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Tripura and Mizoram. So these are the total number of 8 states which are crossed by the Tropic of Cancer. Now how to remember? Is there any trick to remember about these 8 states? Because this is a common question in this chapter. So we have a trick to remember these states. So this trick is Mira's JCB at GMT. So this is the main trick to understand and to remember these 8 states of Indian subcontinent of our country. First is MI Mira. It is called the Mizoram. RA Rajasthan. Mira's JCB at GMT. The next one is Jharkhand. J stands for Jharkhand. C stands for Chhattisgarh. And B stands for Bengal. So these are the 2 and these are the 3 states. So total number is 5 states. Now GMT, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh and Tripura. Total 5, 6, 7, 8. There are total 8 states. So these are the total 8 states. With the trick we can remember these states in a beautiful manner, in the beautiful manner. So I hope that you will never forget this in your lifetime, Mira's JCB at the GMT. So you can repeat the same trick 4 or 5 times so that it will be learned well and you will not forget it in your lifetime. Mira's JCB at the GMT. Now let's go ahead. Now let's talk about the longitude. What is longitude? So in the picture we have studied that the longitude are the north-south lines. It is the total number of the longitude are 360. So 360 is the total number of the longitude. So they are of the equal length and they converge at the poles. So prime meridian is called the G or the GMT. It is also called the GMT. It is located at the 0 degree longitude. It is located at the 0 degree longitude. So if we try to understand the longitude, so this is the GMT. This is also called the London Greenwich time or Greenwich Mean Time. It is also called the Greenwich Mean Time. So this is called the GMT. So GMT is located at the 0 degree longitude. 0 degree longitude, and there are total 360 longitudes. So our Earth, our whole globe is divided into 24 time zones, because the time always, if you go to the east of the GMT, the time will increase, and if you go to the west of the GMT, the time will decrease. So if a state is located at the east of the GMT, he will be ahead in the time, and if any country is located in the west of the GMT, he will be backward of the time. Now our time zone, as I have recently said, the time zone of the whole globe is divided into 24 time zones, and each zone consists of 15 longitudes or 1 hour. So there are total 15 longitudes in 1 hour. It means the one longitude equal to 4 minutes. To cross any one longitude, there are 4 minutes. 4 minutes are required to cross the one longitude. It means if you are traveling, if you are crossing the one longitude, that means you have crossed the 4 minutes, or it will be crossed by sun. If a sun, as everybody know that the sun rises in the east, and Japan is called the land of rising sun. So first time the sunrise happens in Japan first of all, and after that it moves towards the western part. So to cross every longitude, it takes the 4 minutes. So one longitude equal to 4 minutes, and the 15 longitude is 4 multiplied by 15 equal to 60 minutes. So equal to 60 minutes, it is also called the 1 hour, and the 60 minute means the 1 hour. So 1 hour equal to 15 longitudes. So if anybody is going towards the east of the GMT, he will be ahead of the time, and if any country is located towards the west of the GMT, he will be backward in the time. Now in India we have one time zone, but in the USA and the Canada, it has 5 time zones. The Russia has the maximum number of the time zones, that if you are going to Russia, if you are traveling into the different states, you have to change your time. But in India we have a single time zone, so you don't have to change your time. If you are going from Gujarat to Bombay, it will be in actual basis. It will be a differences of the longitudes. It will there will be some differences of the longitudes, but you don't have to change the time, because we have single time zone all over India. But Russia has 11 time zone. That means if you are traveling in Russia into the different states, then you have to change your time. So I hope it is clear for everyone. So let's move to the next. So the main purpose of the longitude is to locate our time. To determine the time differences on the globe, the longitude is mainly used. We have divided the longitude into 360 degree into 360 longitudes. All these are the imaginary lines. You must keep it in your mind. So there are 360 longitudes on the globe, and the main purpose of the longitude is to locate the time of different places of the earth. So Indian Standard Time, if we talk about the Indian Standard Time, so there are, our Indian Standard Time is 82.5 degree east of the GMT, because GMT is mainly used to identify the time on different places of the globe. So our Indian Standard Time is 82.5 degree east of the GMT. Now Indian Standard Time is 5 hours and 30 minutes ahead of the GMT, because if you try to calculate the main time, then you have to divide 82.5, because 82.5 is equal to the 82.5. Now 82.5 multiplied by 4 is total 330 minutes. So if you divide the 332 minutes into 60, then the time will be calculated in the hour, 5 hours and 30 minutes. So for every 15 longitude, the time is 1 hour. So if you are crossing the 15 longitudes, that means you are in the eastern direction of the GMT. That means you are getting 1 hour ahead of the GMT. So I hope it is clear for everyone. Now the Mirzapur district of the UP, it is located at the central place. Earlier it was Ujjain. It was treated as a Ujjain of the Madhya Pradesh, but in 1st January 1906 the GMT was required. The GMT was started for calculation. Now you can ask me the question, why GMT is located at the 0 degree longitude? Because it was London it was Great Britain which was controlling over over the majority of the countries of the globe. It was an imperialist country. The London was an imperialist country, the Great Britain. So the Great Britain was an imperialist country. So at the time of the Second World War, the whole majority of the countries of Africa and Asia was under the control of the London. So every colonial country and even the whole world began to identify the differences from the London, and it was the London which started calculating the differences of every country with their own country. So it began to be called the GMT. So the GMT began to be called as the main mark, as the main line to identify the difference between different countries, and it started in 1906. So since 1906 we are following the GMT. Since the 1906 we are following. So in the 1906 we are following the guidelines of the GMT, and GMT became the central place to identify the location of different places. So in India we have single time zone. It is called the Mirzapur district of Uttar Pradesh. So the Mirzapur district of Uttar Pradesh is located at 82.5 degree east of the GMT. 82.5 degree east of the GMT. So I hope that this concept is clear for everyone. Now this is the picture of the GMT. It crosses from the London Greenwich time. It is also called the prime meridian. It is called the prime meridian. Now I hope you have understood that if anybody is going towards the east, he will be ahead of the GMT and he will gain time, as well as if anybody is moving towards the west, that means he is going to lose the time. Now Indian Standard Time is considered as 82.5 degree longitude, which is 5 hours and 30 minutes ahead of the GMT. It passes through the 5 states, namely Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Chhattisgarh and the Andhra Pradesh. Now in the earlier time we have discussed about the latitude, but now we are going to understand about the longitude, about the vertical line. So this vertical line, longitude, crosses Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Chhattisgarh and Andhra Pradesh. Now the grid system. The grid system is the convergence of the latitude and the longitude. So the latitude and longitude converge with each other. That will be called the grid system. The place where the latitude and the longitude intersect and cross each other is called the grid system. Now the prime meridian. The prime meridian, recently we have discussed, there are 360 longitudes on our globe. International dateline. Thank you for being with us and watching the video. This is my email ID. If you want to ask any question, you can directly contact me on this email ID. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel for more and more updates. Thank you.